One of my teammates on the White Sox is an outstanding base runner, and here's Ron LeFlore with some tips to help you on the base paths.
Well, Carlton, if hitting is a science, then good base running is an art. Good heads-up play on the base paths will win ball games just as surely as base hits and home runs. We don't have time here to go over all the strategy involved in base running, but there are certain basic elements that have to be mastered by every ball player. For instance, when leading off base, you must watch the pitcher for a pickoff attempt, and you must listen to your coach. On first base, the size of your leadoff will depend on how fast you're able to get back to the base on a pickoff attempt. Also, if a left-hander is pitching, you may want to take a shorter leadoff because the pitcher is facing you when he stretches, and he has the advantage of a better view of your leadoff. However, all pitchers have their own individual pickoff moves, and some right-handers have better moves than many left-handers. You must study each pitcher individually and judge your leadoff according to the quickness of each pitcher's individual move. One of the greatest base stealers of all time, Lou Brock, watched the knee of the pitcher's back leg, the right knee of a right-hander and the left knee of a left-hander. If you are given the steal sign by your coach, or if you are told you can steal on your own, you can take off for the second base the instant the pitcher's back knee bends. The back knee is a good indicator because once it is bent, the pitcher has shifted his weight and has committed himself to making the pitch to the catcher. Before that back knee bends, he can still make his pickoff move. The leadoff from second base can usually be longer than the one on first base because the shortstop and second baseman cannot play as close to the base as the first baseman can. On second, the base runner should watch the second baseman out of the corner of his eye while watching the pitcher for a pickoff attempt. The runner must depend on his third base coach to warn him if the shortstop is moving toward the base for a pickoff play, because the shortstop is in back of the runner and out of his sight. Leading off third is slightly easier because the third baseman must play back, but the runner must be alert to being picked off by the catcher after the pitch. Therefore, you cannot stray too far off third in your attempt to rattle the pitcher. One very important thing to remember about leading off third base is to stay in foul territory, so there is no chance of getting hit by a fair ball hit down the line. Leading off bases and smart base running can only be mastered with a lot of practice. The most important thing to remember on the base paths is to be alert and know the game situation.